Okay, let's get started. Welcome to Behind the Books. I'm Mila Milson with Spellings Press. I am here today with M.U. Thorne, my always co-host,
Hello,
and
hello.
authors T.R. Jordan and
Hi.
K.G. Ryder. So welcome. I'm so glad to have both of you and actually do a sit down and catch you on camera for once. Both of you got projects in the works as well as things coming through the press as well.
So, this is a very long time in the making, because as I know you know, but some of our friends may not know, I actually wrote my first two books as one volume and then had to cut it in half. And so I released the first book, The Deception of the Black Rose. I self-published that in July, and I was having kind of a hard time trying to get together the funds to put the second book through the process because in my mind they're one arc of this story. It's a much longer timeline, but this feels like, this is one part of the story. And so it's when I finally got picked up by Stallings, it was just like such a relief to finally be like, oh my gosh, I can actually like do this,
Mhm.
And so I'm very excited to have my babies back together, so to speak.
I can't imagine. I think you made a really good call on splitting it up because both of those volumes are almost 500 pages.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the two of them together. So I've got
Oh,
my
it's so
copy of
great.
The Deception, and then I've got my proof, my first ever proof of The Crew. And
Yay!
yeah,
That's so cool.
this is a Brandon
Yeah,
Sanderson style novel. So
yeah. I think
but
KDP caps out at like
hopefully
3.5 inches.
yeah. So hopefully the next few books I can sort of like keep them in a nice little I can dial it down a little bit and not have so much happening. Got too much stuff.
And we,
But yeah, I'm just so psyched to finally have my babies together.
And
So
did you say it's this weekend? That's
yes, on
crazy.
Saturday.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
exciting. Let's go.
hmm the
Less than a
next
year
release.
after book one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we always do the midnight release party and everything, so that's going to be really fun. I think you said you're going to be wearing your pirate hat.
I am going to be wearing my pirate hat. I actually you can't really see it, but I've got my pirate flag
Oh
shirts on.
yeah.
So
Nice.
this is the Black Roses banner. So,
Nice.
but I thought there would be a little more portrait orientation. I forgot how this goes. So,
It looks good. I'm super excited. This is going to be good. We've been cranking out almost every single weekend a new release lately. We had Val Blaze and we had On Wings of Beating Glass, and now we've got Crew the Black Rose coming up.
yeah,
And yeah,
I received my copy of Wings of Beating Glass. It's sitting in the packaging right now because as soon as I get done with you, I'm going to do an unbagging for the
nice.
Tiki Taki.
Oh,
So,
that is awesome. And Rachel mentioned to me this morning that she is almost done with book two. And she's
yay.
just finished editing it's called Chosen by Darkness. And so that is a serial killer, CIA romantic thriller. And so now that it's been through editing, we've just got to sort of finalize it. We're giving her time to sort of promote On Wings of Beating Glass before we release Darkness, but it is coming and we'll release that one. And then a few months after that will be book two of Thrones of Judgment for Rachel. And TR, you are a bit different because you're one of our audiobook authors.
I am, yes.
How has that been for you?
It's different. Um, Writing and reading it is very much different to hearing it, especially during the spicy scenes. Mr. E is a little bit. I haven't heard Chelsea narrate hers yet, but it's definitely a different experience.
You're so lucky you get to hear Mr. E.
I know.
I
I'm
know.
so
I'm so
Yeah.
jealous. I'm so
And
jealous too.
he wants to sign on for like the rest of my books. Like he loves my writing, so he just wants to be my male narrator for like the rest of eternity.
Yay!
That's so awesome.
That is
Well, you can't go
awesome.
wrong there. He's so
No.
good.
Yeah.
But it is kind of awkward, isn't it? Like, I remember the first time Lauren was reading one of my spicier scenes, and mine aren't even as bad as
I
like
remember this.
yours. And my face, I started, like, oh my God, I actually wrote that. And somebody's reading it, and I feel like I'm suddenly naked or something.
And it's so different because then you have to sit there and intently listen to it to make
Yeah.
sure everything is perfect. And so then you have to like keep playing it back to see where the mistake was. And it's so much different to do audio than just the regular book portion.
It's a lot of fun because they put so much emotion into it, and you're picking up all of the vibes and the gasp and the sighs and everything. It's so immersive. But yeah, those spicy scenes, I think the first time I even wrote a spicy scene, I wanted to hide my face. And so then you actually get somebody like Mr. E with that voice he's got, and he's just reading all of this out loud. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to hide under my blanket.
Yep. My face was definitely red. I was definitely like, I felt the sweats around my hairline because I was like, oh my God.
I wrote those.
Mm-hmm.
And who
And
does your
he's
family
just
know?
got this.
Most of my family knows. My dad's side of the family is Mormon, so we have opted not to tell my grandparents.
That's my family.
I remember this, but my dad knows, my mom knows, but neither of them had read my books at all, so they know about what I'm doing and what I'm writing about, but they haven't read them.
Ooh.
That's very much my situation as well. My parents are very like I'm not Mormon anymore, but my parents still are, and they're more on the chill end of things, and so they've been incredibly supportive. But my mom's just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna read it, but like I'm so glad that you're doing this, and I'm just like, yeah. But I've had to keep. I haven't brought it up to. There's a few other family members on my dad's side that are into creative writing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something, but I can't like talk about it. So, I feel that.
Yeah. It's quite different when it's, just a fantasy or something, and versus body noises and moans and gasps, and it's like, oh God. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Knowing that if Mr. E wants to do stuff in the future, that's gonna be so fun to actually be writing that kind of like knowing what the sounds and the voices are. Oh man.
Yep. And one of he messaged me one day and he was like, I envision this person as British, and I'm like, you can't plant that seed in my head because now that person is British to me, and I've actually altered his storyline so that he is British.
Oh, nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I love it when they weigh in with their ideas. Lauren did that too. I didn't think about accents really, but I'm fantasy, right? So I was just like, okay, they're on this other continent kind of thing, and I just left it at that. But then Lauren was like, yeah, but they'll talk differently because they're from this other continent, and I'm gonna try this accent. And I was like, you go for it. It sounds so good now. And I'm just like, when you get really talented, skilled narrators that can do that, it's so fun. And we've got so many now. I think there are
absolutely 15
on the website, on the roster, but that's not even all of them. It's just it's like herding cats to get them to give me their bios and samples. That's not all of them.
I wonder, what is our ratio for narrators versus authors in our DC?
We're at 102 people right now. I think there are about 60 authors and about 40 narrators.
Okay, because it sometimes feel like there's more narrators than authors in the chat.
Oh yeah, especially when they start popping up and doing these little challenges and showing off for each other. Yeah. They like to flaunt. That's why I always call them the peacocks, because they get out there, they start showing off their voices, especially the male narrators.
Oh yeah, they take every single opportunity. Like even when they probably shouldn't, they just like do it anyway.
I always
No, because
picture them
TR
just sort of
knows this,
strutting.
that. So E likes to come into my weekly live that I do and just like try to make me blush, and he's just like he's batting 1,000. Like all he has to do is say like "good girl" or something, and I'm just sitting there like in front of all of TikTok, like just like bright red and like, oh, stop making me feel squishy inside.
No.
There was one day she matched his profile picture color because she was just so red.
Red now.
She is.
Oh, the lighting in here is also not great, but yeah, just oh man, like
it's one of the benefits of being able to wear a mask is when Mr. E is talking, and I can just be like, you can't see how red my face is underneath.
Yeah, no, he's got it. He's got it.
They've got those deep, deep voices, and then we've got some that are very mid-range. And then lately we've been focusing on accents. So now we've got Australian accents, we've got Irish accents, Scottish, UK, and native speakers too, not just putting on the accent. So that really, I think, helps bring a level of realism to it too. I love it. I think last time I checked, we have people from 15 different countries. So we are just all over the place in so many different, I think 7 time zones. It's a lot of fun. But you have, KG, you want to do audio too, but you want to do like a multicast.
Well, so I'm not really sure about it because like the dream, the big dream is to do a full cast, obviously, but that's something that I know is I need to get a lot more popular first. This is like I need a baseline audiobook, and then when I can start releasing the special editions and all the different stuff, like then I can have a full cast audio. And I already am just one voice that I know that I would love to have is I don't know if you guys are familiar with Uncle James Moore.
Yep.
He's just got a very like all the way down in the diaphragm kind of voice, and I'm just like, he is Tobin. Like that is absolutely the voice I hear in my head when he talks. And it is just like, man, like I don't have anybody else cast, but I'm like, Uncle James, you are Tobin, and that is not negotiable.
It's so fun too. I've done that with a couple, like voice of Todd. I hear him as a couple different characters. He's got such a good gravelly kind of voice to him too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like I need to like mentally get myself to a point where I can be like, okay, here, Isla, please audio me. But I'm just like not there. I'm not there yet.
Audio
but...
me.
Audio
like
me,
sprinkles.
Isla. Like audio me, baby.
Oh my goodness. And we just got another one this week too. Jack the Ripper, that Game of Masquerade. That's going to be a fun one.
And you've got my second one that I'm going to be submitting soon.
Yeah. More Costas Brothers, more Mafia. So that's going to be really... Yeah. More...
Woo.
Yeah, this is the flamethrower book,
Tiara
right?
flamethrowers.
Yeah. That's why I gave you that skit for the promo stuff. How much blood is too much blood? Because I was like, there's nobody that's more destructive than TR. When can we expect that one?
Well, that one, it's been a day today with that one. That one, it's up for pre-order again. That's coming out in 4 days. So me and KG have a release twin weekend.
Nice.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be coming out in a few days. And then I will give the manuscript over to you once I've got the paperback all done up and everything.
Very fun, very fun. You want to talk about your book? What is your first book about?
My first book is a mafia book that started the series, and it spurred from a reverse tropes post on TikTok of accidentally abducting the mafia don. And so I had like a scene in my head where he's hiding in the trunk and she's just driving away as fast as she can. So that's where the book came from. It's a forced proximity marriage of convenience book. Um, but I absolutely adore it. I couldn't keep going through it and tweaking it anymore. So I'm like, I'm just going to throw it up and I'm going to move the pre-order date to this date, and that's when it's going to come out. Because originally it was supposed to come out in February or March.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, no, it's coming out in December. I can't push it off that long.
Nice.
And then while I was mid-writing that one, I messaged one of the girls that was helping me with editing. I was like, is it insane I'm already writing book 2? She's like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lots
fun.
of people write multiple books at the same time. Well, what about you,
I wrote 2
Kiji?
books
You
at
want to tell
once.
people about your books? Your books are very interesting from what we normally put out.
Yes. So, like I said, they are. It is a. Oh, let's see how to not overcomplicate this. It's pirate smut, but they are. It is spicy adventure romance with a little bit more historical accuracy than some people are willing to throw into it, because pirates are one of my special interests and something that is very near and dear to me. So the first book, The Deception of the Black Rose, and then the second book is The Crew of the Black Rose. It follows the story of a man from the British Royal Navy in the 1700s, who doesn't really fit in with his high society life in Jamaica, in colonial Jamaica, and his ship is captured by a pirate queen known as the Black Rose. And her sort of MO is that she takes the highest ranking survivor to her bedchamber to negotiate. So we get spicy on page 10. And he's basically like, you know what? I don't have anything better to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and join this pirate crew and see if I can, make this pirate queen fall in love with me. And this is their story. And so so I have a timeline for the series that is from February of 1717 until December of 1718. This is February through May.
Oh, wow.
So we have February and March, and then this is like March, April, May. So, and then the next book, which I'm so excited to write it, if I could just make my brain write it, is going to take place entirely in July. So we're going to have a little, yeah, right? So we're going to have a little bit of a time skip from May to July, and then the entire book is going to take place in July. So,
wow.
But, yeah, so we're really just going to kind of see how long it takes us to get to December, I guess. So,
and that next one is the Fleet of the Black Rose.
Yeah, so the third one is going to be the Fleet of the Black Rose. So obviously there is a theme. So it's kind of like, like the old school Harlequin novels all had kind of titles like that. So
yeah.
I have a list of like 15.
I know. I didn't realize it was so compressed with that time frame, though. I've read it several times, the Crew, going over it as we push it out, and so 3 months, and it's nearly 500 pages.
Well, I mean, so one of the things that the accuracy thing, and I always joke about how much math I have to do with this. If you follow the routes that I give you, like, you can kind of figure out how long it takes to get there, because I am very specific about, like, okay, this would take them 5 days, this would take them 3 days, like, very much, like, so if you were to plot it out, you would be able to sort of see the progression of how long it takes.
Mm, it's funny when it comes to math like that too, because for me, I had an invading
Yeah,
fleet of ships, and I
love
was trying to figure out, I was doing math too, okay, how many bodies go on one ship, and then how many ships would it
Mhm.
take to make an overwhelming force versus one that was easily beaten or an equal match, and, sort of like putting that many ships in the water. It's really funny. But I know, TR, you were on Google Maps.
Little too much. Yeah, I've got you worried with my Google Maps usage. I even used Google Maps to come up with a riddle for my third book. And it
Ooh.
holds. It's because of like where the waterways meet, the names of the waterways, the street name that the house is on. So I definitely pull a lot of my locations off of Google Maps because it's New York City, and New York City is a very confusing place. So I'm always checking New York City, like where do these streets line up? Is this house accurate? Just so because New Yorkers are not one to be kind if you make them mad.
And you were talking about Yonkers, and I didn't even know that that was a place.
Yes. I was
Yonkers.
I was doing sprints with Lee last night, and I found a place in Canada called Black Tickle, and it kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, I got nervous about you in Google Maps because I was like, you know what? It's going to be our luck that she points to some random house and it really is some kind of mafia hideout. And then, oh my God, I
And
got really nervous.
in my area, they actually used to pretty much run the area that I live in. I went to a bakery with my mom one day, and they have a sitting area, and there were 3 Italian men in suits, and I looked over, my mom said, "Don't look." And so I turned back around.
Just walk away calmly.
Yep.
We saw nothing. Well, that's really fun. And Mutz, how are you coming on yours?
Oh, busy, busy, busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so. And I know I've said this to you before, but it's so much fun. It's so great, but it's also so daunting and so stressful. It is. I'm getting closer and closer every day, but um, yeah, just still hearing everyone else talk about their stuff, and like with all the release dates that are coming up, it's been such like great motivation for me to just
Yeah,
like keep at it. I know I've
it
been
really
a
is.
ghost. I'm so excited to not be a ghost anymore in the Discord and actually be active because I see and it's so funny whenever I do show up, it's because of something smutty, but it's I never actually pay attention. It is just a coincidence.
Butts out, butts out.
Yeah. But I'm actually so ready to just finally be more a part of just all the conversations that are being had because it's or like I know I want to play games with I don't know, there's a couple of us in the group that want to get together and play some games
Repo
outside.
Day Night.
Yeah, I know. I want to play it so bad.
Yeah.
It's such a great game. There was a sequence I was working on in my book where I pulled some repo / backrooms inspiration for like the setup of how it's just. But yeah, again, I'm just ready to. I'm so I love doing it, and I love being able to sit down and work on all this. But I'm so ready to exist again.
Stick your head up above the editing
Yeah.
trenches.
Right, and be like, hey, I'm still here. I promise I'm still here.
Yeah. And it's such a cycle too, because we get exhausted when we're editing. It's just like, I don't want to look at another book. But then it's only, like a week after your book comes out,
Oh,
you
yeah.
start getting that itch and you're just like, okay, I'm ready to write again. And you just keep going.
Yep, I was
Why
gonna
do we do this
say.
to
I didn't
ourselves?
even didn't even like get out of that. Like as when we had Chez's midnight release party, I'm like, man, I gotta write another book, and it's like, girl, you got a book coming out. Shut up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like with how brutal and how fun it's been. I can't wait to do it again.
Write my book.
Sometimes
We're all
I
sort of
wonder.
reinforcing each other.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder how authors are like a one and done. Like, I don't think I could ever just be one and done.
No.
I'm always coming up with new ideas.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
my book was supposed to be one, and then I was just like, I don't know, I guess we'll just see where the word count takes us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And a lot
But
of
it was
people,
supposed to be
Big word
one
count.
book.
yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but the book Succubus isn't like the dream project for me. I have a bigger series that I want to do that's science fantasy, but I wanted to get more experience under my belt first before tackling that just with how much is going to be going on in it. And I'm so happy that I did, because that would be such a nightmare right now going through all like just I mean, I'm very happy. I'm tackling a much more like there's a lot of little details in this book for sure, but it's way less. There's something that, with all the world building you have to do with these like I'm so excited to get. That's another thing too. I'm so ready for is to actually read all everyone's books, because I want to get my Spellwings shelf all built up, and I'm gonna do a big. I just want to order all the books at once, so when they show up, I can just have I could do like a TikTok. I can have all the books in one big stack and be like, we're so back.
Nice.
And just being able to read. But yeah, anyways,
it's fun because I have them all as proofs.
Somebody that I was working with on book one told me that if I was intending to actually like query and go through the entire process, like don't do it with something that's so close to you, and start with something that is a little more throwaway. Yeah, because she was like, because you like, she's like, I know you love these pirates, and I know that you love these people, and if somebody starts telling you no about them, you're gonna get real upset about it. And I was just like, but they're the only things in my brain.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just didn't have any other ideas, and now I've got too many ideas.
I think that's the great thing about indie publishing, because you pretty much have freedom to write whatever you want and publish whatever you want, and not have somebody tell you, don't include this, take this out, add this in, or change these things around. So I don't know if I could ever go fully trad.
If you've got someone like Emma, you can definitely have someone be like, you need to basically you need to like just break all the bones and reconstruct the face.
Oh,
because,
editing it's been such a humbling experience for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, circling back, I love you were talking about the Google Maps and being concerning. I love that attention to detail. It just makes the world so much easier to live in. And like KG, we were talking about actually charting the time it takes to get to each destination.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. I love that stuff. That's the kind of I'm such a sucker for those little things. So I might think it's concerning. No, I'm all for it. Keep going. Don't.
I just don't want them to come to my door and be like, you've got to take my house out of this book.
What I will do too is I never like fully give full addresses. I just use like street names and like house descriptions, but I will find the location that I want to use and the starting location, and I will do a Google Maps directions of how long it will take to get from point A to point B, because you expect New York City to take you 3 hours to get 5 minutes down the road, but actually it tells you like 20 minutes to get from New Rochelle to Lower Manhattan. I'm like, okay.
Moving to the marketing. So as you guys know, like one of the things we're talking about, we're testing out, or I'm testing out the forced edges to see about offering that as just sort of a standard part of what we do with the press. Like everybody could have their own, with really no extra cost to it. And so that's one of the things that I've started looking at for marketing, is just making, really pretty covers and the continuous design spines. And now if everybody just comes through and they've got those forced edges, those decorative edges, what else have you guys thought about, or what have you tried for marketing, and what's worked and what not worked?
For me, mainly, I just do the like little picture slides on TikTok. I don't really have marketing strategy, but that's usually what gets me the views, because I do like 3 to 5 slides at one time, figure out the
Mhm.
hashtags I'm using, and make sure the song choice that I'm choosing has higher post amounts because that'll bring in views as well.
Mhm. And you've seen good success with that, higher
Mhm.
clicks with slides and
Yeah, I get like a
popular
couple
trending
hundred
music.
yeah.
What about you, KG?
So one of the ones that I like to do is I like to use trending audios as like incorrect quotes from the book. So especially the ones that are super like psychotic sounding. Like I had one that the John Mulaney like, hey, do you want me to kill that guy for you? He sounds like he sucks. I will totally kill that guy for you. And I was like, that is Felipe, 1000%. Like anytime, like it literally happens in this book. In this book, there is a guy who is messing with Doctora, and he is like, just say the word, and I will destroy him for you.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I think those are very fun. I'm not really. I have found that a lot more of these sort of slice of life, like relatable ones, tend to
Mhm.
get more views. Like not necessarily ones that are about the book, but if I slap on at the end of it, like you've seen how I always slap the Spellwings logo on the end of it,
Mhm.
and if I do like relatable, here's the book, Spellwings, ta-da! Like
Spelling.
those tend to be really, really good.
I do
I
find that
gotta, I
people
gotta hype the
resonate more
crest.
with the face, A lot of times you get the
Mm.
people. I find that too. The ones where I'm just sitting and talking and casually, it's unscripted. I'm just catching people up on what I'm up to. Those do seem to do better, you know. And I definitely think that when it comes to book talk, I sort of track those things, and I will, because I'm epic fantasy, traditionally that can be a lot of male readers, but I think in book talk there's a lot more female readers, especially if they see fantasy and they're thinking maybe it's romantasy. And I find that they skew one way or the other when you're sort of creating the content, and I try to tailor to both. So then the ones where I've got like battle scenes and really hard, cold quotes, and it's all about swords and things, then it'll show, the males are the ones watching it. But then if I'm like, all the romantic stuff or the sweet sort of I miss you kind of stuff, then it's so that's a tricky part too. You have to be kind of savvy about it and pay attention to your analytics because you're definitely tailoring to your audience.
And I've also took some advice from some. I'm not entirely sure if it's working, but it's something that I saw somebody mention in a video a few months back about how like TikTok wants to be a search engine. So you have to think about it in
Mm.
terms of search engine optimization, SEO. And
Mhm.
so it's like the screen that you have on the text, if you go into the search insights and find like key phrases that people are searching for, and you put it on your screen, and it doesn't have to be literally in front of you. So you can let's just like type it out, drag it slightly off so that the words are cut off, but the text box is still there, and
Mhm.
then just have that playing next to you. Um, I have been experimenting with that. I don't know if it's
Mm.
actually super been working, but something like I was looking at the analytics for some of my videos, and I get a lot of people find me when they're looking for books about pirates. So
Mhm.
every video that I do, even if it's not expressly about my book, I put book about pirates
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
kind of park it off to the side to see if that will drive a little bit. And
Mhm.
I have a couple others that I got from the creator search insights that that fit that I just kind of put there, and we'll see if anything really comes of it.
It's interesting too because I post on Instagram and TikTok. I would say I'm much more of a book talker, but I do have a Facebook presence and Instagram. It's vastly smaller, but I will see authors on those platforms, and they either are having a lot of success on those platforms and are not on TikTok at all, or they're saying, is TikTok worth it? And they haven't tried it. And I would say TikTok is by far the easiest and the most successful. If you want, there's no, I, I have tried ads with Instagram and Facebook, and I got maybe 100 views and maybe one click. I've never made a sale whatsoever. But you can do a $10 ad on TikTok, you'll get like 8,000 views, and people just click through and they go straight to the Zon and they bought your book. It's so much more successful. So I would say for people listening, if you don't have TikTok, definitely get on it, because I sort of see Facebook and Instagram going the way of the dodo. It's just not successful for book marketing. Have you guys had any success on those two platforms?
I have an author page on Facebook, and granted, I don't ever really do anything with it. I put it up there and I've forgotten about it, but every now and then I get a notification on Facebook. This page has had 112 views, but no traffic comes to my book from that page, even though my link is posted on there and everything.
Yep, I've seen that too. And the followers I get on Facebook are extremely random. I think in the past week, I've gotten a bunch of dog breeders. They're just like puppies for sale. And I'm like, well, this is just completely useless, so I do get a lot more targeted audiences, on TikTok as well.
I've had this conversation with Isla a few times about how, like, Facebook is enough to make you believe in dead internet theory, because I have 12,000 followers. 48% of them are men from India who can't even buy my book legally because it's not available, because of decency laws in Singapore prevent smut from being sold in the Kindle store in India. So it's like, I don't know what these people are doing.
That's crazy.
I had infinitely more engagement when I had 100 followers than I do with 12,000 followers, and it makes you believe in dead internet theory, like, for real. But I'm on like the 4,000 creep for TikTok. I think I'm maybe like 14 or 15 away from 4,000 followers on TikTok, and I have so much more engagement. I have formed a lot more community on there, because there are people that, like, I'll go, like, every time I see that they're live, I'll like pop in and say hi, and I've got like 5 or 6 people that consistently, not even Soul Wings people, that will just like consistently like and share and comment on my videos, and it just really feels like I'm part of something, which just I don't feel like that on Facebook, and I don't feel like that on Instagram. So it is really nice to feel like, at least a couple people care, so like Maurice Myers and Juan the Icon, whenever they're live and I pop in, and they always like talk, whenever they see me, they're like, yo, KG, what's good? Like, they treat me like I'm like their bestest bud pulling up and coming to hang, and it makes me feel good, So
it feels like a community there too. And I think if you seize on it, the growth can be a lot faster. And I have people on the trad side, and we've been overhauling the website, and I was getting them to look at it, and they were just like, oh, well, it seems more informal in places, or you've got such a focus on your social media presence. And I'm like, yeah, because it's working. I think you guys, trad also is like the old guard and the establishment, but sometimes you've got to adapt, or you're stuck in your ways. And their websites are very plain, they're very white, they're very staid, and I don't find that they focus on socials other than a little icon link, you know, whereas our entire ecosystem is TikTok lives and social support networks and discords, and it's just such a more vibrant community. And I see that as the way things are going, because the more the barriers are lowered, the more people join in, but they want that support. And so I would say, yeah, I think it's a mistake to ignore socials or, sort of keep with that formality, because so much of our success is based on being very friendly and warm,
Yeah. I think that's also kind of a like generation gap thing as well, because I feel like, because you keep talking, like the old guard are doing the same things that they were doing 20 years ago, which was the same things that they were doing 50 years ago, whereas we're, like millennial, young Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, like we grew up with this, and this is how we relate to the world. And, like Gen Alpha and everything that comes after that is going to be even more like integrated like this. So I think it really kind of speaks to, I guess, the new blood that we're bringing into the upstart youngsters, the whippersnappers, that we are.
I have seen too where some trad publishers are asking for social media handles and all of that, and basing on if they want your book on your social media presence. So it doesn't take as much marketing to get you to the top for them. So they're definitely starting to look into that as well, where they're requiring social media handles and requiring a presence before they even look at your book.
Oh, yeah. And many times they will require you to help them market. That's I think that's a big mistake. People think if they get offered a trad contract, they're just like, oh, I can just sit back and collect royalties.
Yeah.
No, even the big name trad authors, the bestsellers, the New York Times, they're still expected to be on there with their media presence. Brandon Sanderson is on there on a daily basis, making his own clips and talking about his stuff.
Chuck Tingle.
Yeah.
Chuck Tingle is like, he posts a zillion times a day on all of his platforms. It's just like, bro, do you sleep?
Yeah.
Bro, do you sleep?
But it works, and I know you guys. I've said it in the Discord and stuff, how we've gotten complimented on how quickly we've grown. But I think that that's a reflection of the community, but also nimbleness and adapting to the new sort of environments and what people actually need versus what you think they need, or the established norms. I think it's one of those things where you take the best of trad. That's the indie thing, and I think the sort of Spellwings creed too. You take the best about trad, but you give it the flexibility and the newness of the indie world. You give everybody that flexibility. You use new tools. You use new sort of tactics and genres, and things that they just don't use. And I haven't really seen them using it extremely natively or competently in all cases as well. If you think about the kind of, in our circles, we're in book talk all the time. How many of the trad authors have you really seen, or Penguin, or like how many of the bigger books have you actually seen where trad has been pushing them for the authors? I can't really think of any.
The only one I've run into, the only one I really run into is Fourth Wing.
And she started indie.
Yeah, or people that are more like the smaller imprints of bigger houses. So like I mentioned Chuck Tingle before, he's with Tor. So a lot of the like Tor authors like Travis Baldry and people like that, they're a lot more involved. But yeah, they also, again, they started indie. So it's like we started from the bottom, now we're here, but we just go keep doing it. The only other person that I can think of that I've seen a lot is Matt Dinneman, who wrote Dungeon Crawler Carl, and like everything is blowing up with him, but it's actually not about him most of the time. It's about his audiobook narrator, Jeff Hayes.
So
Too
yeah,
much,
what I was going to say about
always
that
too much
is the
enthusiasm.
narrators can make or break it. You know, it's
Mhm.
such a tandem thing. You can
Yeah.
have a really good book and you can have maybe a not so great narrator, but conversely, you can also have sort of a not so great book, but with a very strong narrator. It just, you know, I
Yeah,
think you
'cause
have to work together. And they help so much too. That's such
Mhm.
a nice thing to have is when they'll do little snippets for you, like the First Page Club or the ones in the Discord where they'll just give you little free things you can use for promos. Because I think that's another thing that plays well when you're marketing is letting people hear the voices that are going to be doing the book, like the little previews. It really works well. But it also helps the authors because uh, sometimes there's that wall when you don't really get to directly connect to the narrator, or maybe you've just heard like an audition or a sample or something like that. But we get to talk with ours and joke around and kid with each other, and you know, it. I think that helps have a really strong relationship and lead to success too. I guess we will start to wrap up. Any last thoughts about marketing or your books, or you want to tell people again what's coming up next for you guys?
I don't think I ever mentioned my book names during this entire podcast.
No, actually you didn't.
So my books start with Sanctuary in His Name by T.R. Jordan, and it's under the Costa Brothers series name on the Zon. And Sanctuary in Her Presence will be coming out this weekend on the 10th. And we have the first audiobook in production with Mr. E and Chelsea Pena, which I love my Virgo twins, I found that so funny when I was asking for birthdays and Chelsea sent me hers and then Mr. E sent me his. I was like, no way. No, this can't be happening right now. Because it's even funnier is they're 3 days before my birthday, so we're all Virgos.
And then, so your party's this weekend, KG.
Yes, yep. So The Deception of the Black Rose is available now, and then The Crew of the Black Rose is going to be available on Saturday. I also, every week, I do a live on TikTok that's called Emotional Support Extroverts, where as an extrovert in a fairly introverted community, I like to invite people to hop up and get used to talking to other people on the camera. Sometimes it's just me and TR. Sometimes it is other people that I have met through the TikTok space. Last week I had Edie Yates came up, and she and I do the Chaotic Book Reads Club together, and I'm reading her book, and so we were chatting about our books together, and that was really fun. So, you know, it doesn't get a ton of views just yet, but I think that's good for people who are just like, I want to do this, but I'm kind of scared to. But I always let everybody know when I'm doing it. So if you are interested in coming up on live and just like turning on the camera, or not even turning on the camera, just getting used to like talking to people in a format like this, Emotional Support Extrovert, I am here to deflect attention from you by never shutting up. So
And do you have any last minute tips for we all get burnt out making the content all the time. You have any tips for how to keep it fresh and keep making the content every single day?
I think for me, it's really just kind of just getting ideas from watching other people. So, because like the like algorithm gurus are like, you have to engage and you have to, you know, spend time liking and commenting on other people's before TikTok will show you to other people. And that's actually a good place to get ideas, because the videos that we ended up doing about like how we plan to be problems on our D&D page, that idea was cribbed. That was cribbed from Jacques the Whipper, And I just was like, you know what? That's funny. I'm gonna do that. And then you did one, and TR did one,
Yeah,
and Lee did
yeah.
one, and it's just kind of like, just flip through and see what happens, and see what's pops up, and or go into the trending audio and see like what comes up at the top recommendations, and just, does anything speak to me?
What about you, TR?
I really am terrible at marketing. I really only ever do those picture slides. Every now and then I'll change it up. Like the one I did, like the quick blurb, like if you found a man hiding in the trunk of your car, would you marry him?
Mm-hmm.
I did that video, and that seemed to get a lot of engagement. So I'm going to start changing
Yes.
up my marketing, especially since now I no longer work at the bank and I have much more time in my day to be doing things author wise. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely can pick up better marketing techniques there too.
Well, we're doing that narrator workshop, right? So I hired a voice coach. The press is footing the bill for it, but we had so much interest from our junior narrators. Well, thank you guys so much for coming, and
Yeah, thanks for
we'll
having
get it
us.
on. Yeah, and I look forward to your next books.